particularly with their metal work that they bring to us, sort of like sculptures for our garden. And the wind spinners are always super, super popular. Clearance price, everything in this hour of patio and garden sale and clearance price. Clearance price, good news, you get a really, really good savings. Bad news is there is no reorder on this, so $69.99 is the price. 3 Easy Pays at $23.33. And do you see that you can change this? So you're gonna get a garden wind spinner, and then you're gonna get 2 decorative rings. So this decorative ring, this one is going to be part of the red, which is your patriotic stars. And then when you feel like it, you can go ahead and change it, and you can put this one on. This will be your hummingbirds. That's called red, okay? Now the other choice that you have, that one is called yellow, and that will give you sunflowers. And then the other thing that you have,
there you go,
is your butterflies. So then you can change it and you've got butterflies. You have 2 different.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I
two
love
different
this.
wind spinners for that price.
For the first time, we've offered something that is giving you really 2 in 1. If you want to do it, you can certainly change it. And that's, you know what, this speaks volumes to Plow and Hearth, who, again, they've been around for over 40 years out of Madison, Virginia. But they love doing spinners. And here's the reason why. It's sculptural artwork out of metal, which they do very, very well, but they also give you all of the pieces to this to nicely assemble it with ball bearings. And I say ball bearings because it's silent, and it also doesn't have any friction when it's spinning around, which means it's the slightest bit of breeze that will make these spin in action. They're all powder coated, they're all hand painted, and they have a bit of a shimmer to them as well, like a high gloss finish to kind of give you that little bit of an extra oomph. They're 5.5 feet tall. So it's kind of like that in between, not so crazy tall, not so crazy big, and not so small where it's going to get lost in your garden as it grows, and about 18 inches around in diameter, just to kind of give you a size. It stakes in the ground with 3 oversized prongs, which you use your feet with to kind of push it right into the ground and make it nice and secure. And we do that because the oversized prongs, because it's taller and we don't want it to kind of, you know, be lifted off. But I'll tell you what, this is so much fun. I don't know, I think the patriotic one with the popular. Yeah, with the hummingbirds, I would say if I got this at home, I might just leave it just like this all year round. But the option, if you love to feed your hummingbirds and you want to have that on, it's very simple for you to change. You saw that in the video. There are only 2 screws in the back, and that is how you detach and reattach that new frame that goes around the back side.
And the frame in the back doesn't spin.
No, the frame is stationary, right.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Only the front spins, and again, with the slightest bit of breeze, I would say this could be that piece that defines your home. Look for the house that has the patriotic.
Oh, we have somebody in our neighborhood who has
one.
I've
always, when I drive around, I always look for those. I'm like, that's Plow and Hearth, that's Plow and Hearth, that's Plow and Hearth.
And the movement is what catches your eye. I have mine in the very back of my yard and leave it out year round. I don't even bring it in the winter. I just leave it out.
Same for me. So, you know, it makes it really easy. And because they are powder coated with a high gloss finish on them, they do not ever have to be brought in. They're meant to be outside. They're meant to withstand the elements.
And you can move them around. I mean, you just, you know, yank them back out of the ground. And as you said, I do the same exact thing. I decide where I want it this time, and then I just step on the prongs.
And then you just step on
the bottom.
Right.
And it doesn't go anywhere. But the nice thing is you've got something that gets noticed.
You do. You really do. It is.
All summer long.
It's a lot of fun. I can say absolutely every generation in our house loves having a spinner in the yard. And you don't need to have crazy amounts of them. One of them to give you that really nice height in your yard to bring your eyes up, and you've got it done. That's it. You can have all of your ground, that everything is growing. With all the rain we're getting in Pennsylvania, as soon as the sun comes out, you're going to see that like everything's grown like 5 inches already, and so
at least the grass.
At least the grass will, exactly. But you can find that perfect spot so that you can see this all year round from your living room or your kitchen or your bedroom, and you will get such enjoyment out of it year round.
I love it because if you, literally you're getting 2 different wind spinners
Yes.
because I would never know that you changed the back of it if you put this
No.
on. You know, I would never know that. And the nice thing about that is then we're talking about $35 a wind spinner. And wind spinners, when they're this tall, are a little more expensive because you're going to own it for years.
right.
I don't even know how many years I've had
Oh,
mine.
I've
I've
had-
had mine for,
yeah,
seems like
I know.
forever.
Same.
That's the nice thing about it is you put it back there. Once in a while, I'll move it around somewhere else. And you may need to play with it a little bit to see where it's going to get a little wind in your backyard or your front yard, as you said, Ginger.
Yes.
Like I said, in my neighborhood, when I walk my grand dog, somebody has it. And I think this way, all of their friends and family,
perfect.
you know exactly where they are.
And
What
if you're-
do you have in front of you, the yellow?
If I have, yeah, so this one is so pretty with the sunflowers and
like
those
it with the
ombre effect
sunflowers.
of the leaves, and then you can switch that out if you love butterflies like I do. We give you multiple colors of butterflies. You have the purples,
Aren't
the
they pretty?
blues, and then as I turn it around, you have different colors of the greens and the oranges and the yellows, and all the way around you're getting those with the flowers in between. So you can switch that out. This could also carry you into from right now the spring into the fall
Into the
and
fall.
into the winter,
Yeah.
so that you could do that. But move these around if you'd like to. If you're having a gathering, a party, you can put this by your mailbox and say, that's the house
Excellent idea.
that has that spinner. And you know, instead of balloons, you could look for the nice spinner that
It's going
defines
to
your
last a
home.
lot longer than those very
Oh
expensive
yes, it will.
balloons.
Yes.
As far as when we get it home, what do we have to do to put it
Light
together?
assembly, we give you easy instructions, and we even give you all of the tools and the screws that come with it, so that's really nice. And you can even take out a link if you want it a little bit shorter, but it is 5.5 feet with all of the pieces that it comes with.
Yeah.
Yeah, super
so
easy.
Here's your Memorial Day, here's your July 4th, here's your
Right.
Patriotic Summer. That one over there is just Golden Summer, so pretty.
So pretty.
Tell us what you want, either the yellow or the red. Clearance price will save you $23. It's M99807. Ginger, always
my
a
darling.
pleasure.
You
Thank
too.
you, love.
You too.
All right, coming up.